of school at 16, so the only examination I've ever passed is my cervical smear test. So I want you to dumb this answer down for someone like me. You say that we owe it to humanity to do this study, and this is the future of preventative medicine. Why?
Now, the reason why is because every now and then you get a new frontier in medicine and science, okay? We've got the genomics, we've got, and these things come, and then people get very excited and worked up, and then very quickly you start to think, oh, we can understand your risk of heart disease or whatever it is. But unfortunately, what tends to happen is that we kind of overshoot and get so much hype, and then we go straight for tests that can predict your risk without actually bringing this back to patients. Now, with this thing, we need to provide that evidence base. We talked about this before, the evidence base that would convince a very conservative profession, which is medicine, that this is the way to go forward. This is what you should be eating, this is what you should be doing to avoid these conditions. This is what is the optimal kind of mix of things that you should be doing. And to do that is incredibly difficult and very time consuming. It's very expensive, it's a lot of hard work. But we owe it to humanity to do all those studies. Otherwise, we're just going to get exactly the same vicious cycle, hype over hype, and then basically disappointment at the end. So, people like us and many others across the globe want to do the proper studies to find the answers that will feed back to the rest of the population of the world.
I mean, I know that this poo testing is available today if you pay for it, but is it too early for these tests to be able to tell us what to do to heal ourselves?
So there's two aspects to this. It's nice to see that there's interest from industry in terms of creating those tests that can predict, your risk of things. The only problem with that is it's kind of jumping the gun a little bit. So it's giving us partial picture. It's not a full picture. It's telling us basically roughly what's going on, but not precise enough to guide your treatment or intervention. So you might end up, you can send these things and get back a readout and then come to my clinic and say, what do I do with this? And I say, I have no idea what to do with this. And I'm the bloody expert. I'm the one that's actually supposed to interpret these things because it's not precise enough. But it's a good start. And I think ultimately when you get all the studies done, you'll be able to rationalize the interventions and then do clinical trials. You've got to do clinical trials. You've got to channel these things through clinical trials so that you can absolutely no debate whatsoever about the value of eating more apples or eating, this type of diet or whatever. Then everybody would, I'd be the first to follow that. So just give us a little bit of time to confirm these findings in clinical trials so that we can all move forward.